da-doo. What's up, dude?
What's up?
Man, this thing rules.
What thing? That thing?
This thing, have you ever seen this? Oh my God.
Never seen it. That is crazy.
This is a Gibson Flying V. It's a 1978 Gibson Flying V. And this is a special episode because we collaborated with Porter Pickups. Brian from Porter Pickups is awesome to do this project. So when I got this guitar, it had a white pick guard, humbuckers, silver humbuckers.
A pretty regular Flying V.
Yeah.
As regular as a Flying V can get.
A lot of silver stuff. The two silver humbuckers. Yeah, that was it, right? And it was cool. 1978 Flying V. I mean, that's quite a
there's
get.
no uncool version of the Flying V. It's just kind of a cool guitar.
But when I got it, I wanted my dream Flying V is to be Rottweilered out, right? So
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah. So I wanted everything to be black. Everything that's not the wood on it, I wanted it to be black. So I worked with Jake Jones, our luthier, as you well know. Jake does all of our guitar work, does a fantastic job. And I contacted Porter Pickups, and I was like, man, can you make me P90s that'll fit into the humbucker slots without drilling any holes? I don't want to alter the guitar at all. I mean, I want to change everything on it, but I don't want to put any holes in it or anything, you know. So they were like, absolutely, man. Super cool dudes. They made these pickups.
Hey everyone, it's Brian Porter with Porter Pickups. Just want to let you know a little bit about our company. We had this great project for the local pickup and they're going to feature us on this channel, so I thought I would share a little bit about who we are and what we do here at Porter. We wind pickups for all sorts of different styles. The main styles, we have custom shop stuff like a Ricochet. We have all sorts of wild things that we do, but we really focus on meeting the player's need for tone and for the pickups have a purpose when we wind them. So we design them to fit a need. So if you have something that you want to play blues and you have a humbucker guitar, then we'll design something and build something for that type of a guitar. It's helped us kind of become a real job or a full-time job for all of us and our employees here. And we really take pride in the quality and the tone of the pickups. And we're not just going to release something to release something. We want to make sure that it sounds good and that it does what we say it's going to do. All right, so I'm here with Marco Gonzalez. He is our shop manager. Marco, how are you today?
I'm doing good today.
Good. Well, we're excited about this project. They approached us, the local pickup guys approached us about putting together a custom pickup for a build that they're doing. And they're gonna show us kind of what they did with the pickups and take the project kind of all the way through to completion. Yeah. So that's what we do all day here at the shop. We make pickups and people finish out projects. But this is a little bit more detailed, and they wanted us to share a little bit about what was going in. So maybe Marco, let's dive into this pickup set that we created for them.
Yeah, and so they opted for an H90 set, and they opted for a custom like matte black cover.
Yes.
So it's got the fiber top, and then it's also got the like matte black like metal ring around it. So it kind of looks like a humbucker cover, and then you've got the black pull pieces exposed too. And it's like Brian was saying, we're used to doing this stuff every day, but when it was like, oh, no, let's kind of put a camera in between like the steps, it was funny. I was constantly having to maneuver around the tripod.
You're not thinking about like the perfect shot for filming what you're trying to do, but now it's it's a little more detailed.
Yeah, and I was like adjusting the light, and it's like, okay, well, like normally I do something this way, but I want the camera to see it, so I was kind of leaned over.
Yeah,
but it was fun, and I think it's cool to be able to take a more detailed look at the build process. And I mean, there's a lot of fun stuff here that we do that we're just kind of, all right, let's get the build sheet done, and we don't maybe take stock of how neat some of these things are. So it's cool to take a closer look.
They made these pickups and they sent them to me, and then Jake went on a mission to find black everything. Black truss rod cover, hardware, just everything. And he changed everything on the guitar.
Everything that is not wood is black.
Everything that's not wood is now black. This guitar is just absolute butter to play.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, as low as the action could possibly be.
Yeah.
There's no rattling. on the neck. Thank you. Pickup.
Yeah, it's very. It also sounds buttery.
Dude, sounds so good. And then, of course, a little bit of that action. But where the juice comes in,
that's juicy.
on the V, of course. This thing's tough, dude. That's bridge pickup, man. And then, of course, it just gets beefier, same kind of thing, but just a great guitar, man. Holy cow.
Yeah, and those P90s are so loud.
Yeah, I know. They're so aggressive and awesome. So the Flying V, man, was made by Gibson in, thank you. Silent Micah made it more silent for the recording.
Less buzzy. They are P90s.
Yeah, they're going to do that. That's a good point. I mean, humbuckers means that it's bucking the hum. That's where that comes from. So,
but P90s are noticeably bigger.
Yeah. So they're single coil. They don't have the second coil that bucks the hum. And Gibson was famous for that, and it made it so it didn't do that loud noise like a Fender would. But a P90 is a single coil pickup, but it's like got the beef of a humbucker. Yet it's single coil, so it's got that aggressive noisiness, which I just love, man. So like basically the story of these, man, Seth Lover, who worked at Gibson and had invented the humbucker, was challenged to design something new and interesting because
and practice Seth Love.
Exactly. He was a Seth Lover. They were like conservative. Gibson had become really conservative at that point in the 50s. And Fender was pushing the envelope, with the Telly and then with the Strat. And so Gibson was being challenged to create something new. They had created the Les Paul, and it was a wild success, And so they were being pushed to create new like body styles or anything they could do that was new. So Seth Lover came up with this body style and was like, we can try it. They put it out there. People weren't wild about it. They didn't really sell it all the first year or two. But then, believe it or not, man, it was the Kinks guitarist Dave Davies, He found one in a store like 5-6 years later that had never been sold because it had come in as like a new instrument. And it was on the, just kind of like stored away, and it had never been sold because people just weren't excited about it. They actually had switched gears and started marketing them as something that your retail store should put in the window.
Yeah.
It's just like
to make people...
look how freaky this guitar is.
Yeah, like a train wreck, yeah.
Yeah, right. Come in and buy something normal, but this got you in here.
I'm sorry, again, what year did they introduce it?
58.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
Isn't that crazy? It's way
definitely
early.
risky for something like that.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But think about it, though. People were into that kind of like retro-futuristic stuff, too.
Yeah,
but
you can tell it's where it came from.
Yeah. So Seth Lover comes up with it. They put it out. They don't sell. Dave Davies is in a music store, finds one that was unsold. It's like, what is this? They're like, yeah, Gibson tried this thing. Didn't happen, kid. Oh, well, we'll just throw this out with the garbage. And Dave Davies is like, no, I think it's cool, man. And he bought it and started playing it. And then so much demand came in because people wanted to get a guitar like the dude from the Kinks. Because he was like the only person that anybody ever seen playing one. And everybody wanted one that Gibson went back to production in them. And they've just been an absolute staple ever since.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, in terms of like electric guitar culture, that was still a bit early. And it's like, I mean, there's a reason we're standing up in this episode. You can't sit down and play a Flying
with
V.
a V. Unless you do the whole straddle move, like that, which is not my thing.
Yeah,
metal players do that,
Yeah.
They do the whole straddle.
The whole squatty.
Yeah, right.
Squatty move. But yeah, I mean, that's another reason at the time where it's just like people were thinking about guitars. There was less, maybe, not that there was no rock starness attached to them in the 50s. There was, but it was still growing. The idea of the electric guitar more attached to the idea of like showmanship, and obviously that was sort of always a part of the electric
was
guitar,
growing,
but,
and
yeah.
even so. Speaking of the beginning of electric guitar showmanship, not the beginning. There's never a beginning, but one of the big players in electric guitar showmanship, of course, was Jimi Hendrix. Jimmy played a V, for a little while. So man, yeah, it really took on, of course, a life when it got into like the 80s and 70s and 80s, where you had all these like metal and hair bands playing V's. It's like a metal instrument.
Well,
Maiden and all that.
My personal experience, I think of Leonard Skinner first, because someone in there definitely had a Flying V, but that's 70s, and for that reason, I guess I think of it as a 70s guitar.
Yeah.
By the time you get to the 80s, you have. To me, every time I see that sort of 80s idea where you have like wherever the Iceman came in, but then you have like the Beast, like just the 80s, it was all about like, let's come up with these insane shapes. And I've always perceived that as sort of like children of the Flying V.
Right.
Because I mean, was it the first crazy, other than surf guitars?
I mean, yeah, they were
Was it the
doing
first truly
offset
insane
shapes and things, but really the V was so radically different.
I mean, Bo Diddley had the rectangle.
Rectangle. He had that
cigar
custom made
box
for
thing.
him,
Yeah.
by Gretsch. But yeah, so that was a wild one. But yeah, I mean, the V was definitely way different than anything else. It was kind of like, where do we take it from here? I mean, how can you come up with a different body shape? And then it's like, oh, how about this?
And it is kind of insane. I remember like the first time I picked one up as a teenager, the distance from here to here is a little absurd. Like, that's so long, but like it looks very cool. But that's crazy.
And dude, your access to the entire fretboard, like even this, this little fret,
which would have been a later in guitar culture stuff to even care about getting out
to be
there.
soloing up here and stuff. Yeah, absolutely, and speed and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's further distance from the acoustic guitar.
Oh yeah.
And once you get down here, you get into the territory of like you're not really interested in playing that almost acoustic guitar.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Well, I remember, like, I mean, not Rat, but Def Leppard. When they did that first album, I remember that came out, and I was all about all those songs. It was awesome. Not the one with Pour Some Sugar on Me, but the first album, or the one before that, whatever. And one of those dudes was playing one of these, and then one of Maiden's guitarists, if not both of them, were playing V's or something at one point, and I just thought,
matching V's,
I was like, oh my god! I mean, the pinnacle of like guitar, virtuosity in metal. I was thinking of the Flying V.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because they didn't even in the 50s. They had the idea of like they didn't just call it the Gibson V, like it's the Flying V. Yeah, so it's like there's a lot of narrative to that. The idea of that, like you're this soaring guitar. I mean, on all counts, it was way ahead of its time.
Yeah, and then it kind of like has found a life in kind of indie, like there'll be a band where there's a female lead singer who's got just a super cool indie vibe, and she's playing a Flying V. I mean, she's not even a shredder.
It's like the cool guitar.
It's like cool.
It's obviously most guitars are cool, and there are many cool guitars. Right, but the Flying V it's such a, even today, even after all this time, it's still the way that sort of those 80s kind of like metalhead guitars that had these like forky tongues hanging off of them and stuff. They're sort of complex. Yeah. And I think that this is, and I'd argue, haven't we had an Iceman on the show before? I can't remember. We have not. But the Iceman, I think, is the only one. It will cometh. I feel like the Iceman design and the Thunderbird are two designs that are like kind of crazy but fit. The Iceman's maybe the extreme of how weird you can get from
That's
too
the one
complex.
With the long, like,
the kind of hook, like the Kiss guitar. But the Flying V, it's interesting because it simultaneously is insane design-wise and yet completely reasonable because it's still it's a V shape. I mean, it's still a reasonable, and it does have that sort of like mid-century modern kind of angle to like this. It's not like, I think if the first time they made this one was in the 80s, this would have come to a sharp point. You could have killed someone with it.
And they made a lot of V. A lot of other companies made V-shaped guitars that come to points like Ibanez.
Like it's a reflection of the late 50s that it has that very rounded corner.
I agree with that, from a design standpoint, for sure. Because it could be more metal, for sure, and there are plenty of them that are. Yeah, it's not really metal in that sense, design-wise,
Yeah, it reflects that mid-century modern kind of roundness.
Yeah. And it's got,
It also is, it's a lot of wood. I mean, it's still like a heavy guitar.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. There's a deepness to these P90s, man. I'm up in the neck. It just sounds so good. It's like a bite and a deepness on the front.
Because like I said, I mean, it's still there's a lot of wood to resonate in there. Yeah. I'd love to see when Gibson, I challenge you to make the Flying V that has this is all filled in here, and it weighs 200 pounds.
Yeah. What would that be? Not a V, but a something different. I don't know.
Oh, it's the cowbell, the flying cowbell.
Flying triangle.
Yeah.
Cool. Here, take it. And this strap was made for me by Couch Strap.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you left that out. That's part of the whole package here.
Yeah, so I contacted Couch Straps out in California, man. Very cool company. And I was like, dude, I just had this Flying V made. I've worked with Porter pickups in the Midwest, and they're awesome. And I told them about what I was doing. And I was like, it's just going to be the most badass guitar in the world because it's going to be Rottweilered, and it's going to have these P90s in it, you know. And I was like, what kind of strap can I get that would just be so awesome like a Flying V? And it's kind of over the top like a Flying V, but I want to go with the Rottweiler thing. And they were like, man, I got a perfect idea. So they did this strap where it's the black and brown, but it's got the lightning bolt on it. That's just too cool, man. Too cool.
Yeah, it's like the exact same shade.
Yeah. It's vegan leather, too.
Wow.
Which is neat.
They actually killed another Flying V and took the skin off of it, though.
They killed a vegan cow.
Oh.
Yeah, and made it. That's what vegan leather is. Check it out.
So it's interesting. I think Rottweilered is the way to do it. I would have my inclination is Reese's peanut butter cup.
So I got you on clean right now.
All right.
Heck yeah.
I need it.
Nice.
It's a rockin' hot number.
It is a rockin' hot number, dude. I love this guitar, man. I'm telling you. I mean, I've always wanted a V, and to work with Porter pickups, those guys are super cool, man. It's been a long time coming for us to do this video. They made these pickups for me maybe, I don't know how long, 2 years at this point ago, and they were like, yeah, no problem, send it to us, man. And I've been enjoying the guitar, and we're finally now getting around to making the video for them. So thank you, Brian and company, for collaborating with us, man.
Excellent job.
Yeah, excellent job. Check out Porter pickups. They're absolutely fantastic. You can see them online. You can order all kinds of different pickups. They'll custom do projects for you. And
could these pickups be more black?
the answer is none. None more black. Yeah. I mean, dude, that's cool, man.
These are everything about this guitar is very cool.
Yeah, and it plays, to use an overused phrase, it plays like absolute butter, dude.
Yeah, it does. It is very smooth playing guitar.
It's like the easiest playing guitar out there, man.
Easy playing, big old rock and roll sound.
Big old sound, big old rock and roll sound. So yeah, there you go. That's the story of the Flying V and the story of my Flying V. This guitar is currently not for sale because this is my guitar for right now.
Eat it.
So eat it. So we're not even going to show you this video.
I'm sorry, dude. Is this a thing that the knobs look like little witch hats?
Yes.
Did we come up? We said that before. That's the thing.
Knobs.
They call them witch hats because they do look like little witch hats.
They sure do.
Little piece of history.
There you go.
Or pilgrim hats.
And this is kind of like a broom, witch's broom. It's a theme.
This is an evil witch guitar. That was the evil witch sound.
It's good to have a theme song.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, there you go. I guess we'll see you next time on the Local Pickup. Right. Hey, good job.
Thank you.